That's the one I meant. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a best of one. It is once again the round of 64 here in the Go4 StarCraft 2 Cup. And we are playing on King Sejong Station, spawning in the bottom right-hand position. Representing Dead Pixels in-game and also having a logo that involves AT Gaming. This is ever so slightly controversial, but either way, this man is known by fear. His opponent, spawning in the top left position, going for that gas first build, potentially for a little bit of quick tech or aggression. We'll wait and see. It is Trutacz. Gas pool. Can we potentially see shenanigans? We also have an early scout from Fear spotting this as well. He's going to immediately know what's going on. He's like, hang on a second. I need to be just a wee bit careful here. So he shall respond accordingly. We have the gateway at the bottom of the ramp. Is he going to be going for the Nexus anyway? Well, it looks like he is. Absolutely no question about that. I was wondering if this probe can potentially block the hatch a little bit, because this is rather open and potentially vulnerable to attack, especially if you're going to be forcing him to some sort of all-in after he's got the gas and the pull down at the very beginning of the game. But hey-ho. That's right, Troll Globe. We must construct additional viewers. Go ahead and tweet. Go in Facebook. Go in MySpace. MySpace is still a thing, right? Go and do all of the things and attract all of the people here. I'm a little bit annoyed that I have this random little chat button that I can't seem to get rid of. You can see here on the side of the screen. This has been a feature of today. I don't know if it's because the observer interface that I'm using today is a little bit bugged, but we're actually going to leave it there. It's going to be our pet icon for the day. So yes, I know it's there. No, I'm not going to do anything about it. Yes, you're absolutely free to Craigasm and Bible Thump as much as you want in the chat, but I think it's going to be staying there for the remainder of today. Hashtag production value. Right. Zergling speed incoming, and we have the first couple of lings from Trutacz moving their way across the map now, and Overlord will be able to spot that there is a rather gigantic gap as things currently stand. Warp Gate being researched, and an Adept is going to be the first unit out. Oh, that's cute. A probe is coming out to build this gateway, and a couple of lings might end up saying no to that. Yep, they are going to say no to that indeed. 4 lings are now in. Oh, they should have picked off the ling. Probe rather, should have picked off the probe. Unfortunately, slightly careless stuff coming in from Trutacz there, delaying. He could have delayed the wall from going up. He almost gets a probe. He might still get a probe. Let's dance. He does get a probe. All right, so a probe for 4 lings there is the trade. Now, this gateway does completely seal off the natural expansion, and this potentially will give Trutacz the breathing room he needs to go ahead and macro up as much as he wants. He should see this here soon. He knows that his Protoss opponent's only on 2 base. As soon as he sees he's completely walled himself in as well, there's potential that Fear might be going for 2 base all in. So saturate the 3rd base as quickly as possible, but then immediately focus on making sure you have a decent defense. These lings are looking for the Adept. They're hunting for it. They sure as hell ain't gonna find it. Oh well. So that's that. Here comes the follow-up attack, and oh, I see. Yeah, you need to not just be attacking the Stalker, mate. You also have to be going for the pylon and the buildings as well. There we go. Yes, nice little spread going on there. Attacking the 2 gateways, forcing the Proton overcharge on the pylon on the right-hand side. He might have been able to get one of these gateways if he had done that from the very beginning of the engagement, but I'm not sure now with 2 Stalkers and potentially another Photon overcharge available over here. So that's going to be that as far as attacking is concerned. Single Adept is going to do so much, but not quite kill off a larva. Super, super sad. And we have the Roachborn going down now. Twilight Council popping down over here, as well as the Robo at exactly the same time for Fear. This is not an Overlord, unfortunately. It's a Zergling, so moving over to the edge won't allow this to be seen, but there is an Overlord sort of very, very slowly creeping his way into the base. Thanks very much, Trogub, for the advice. Bit of a bug. We'll reset the game. I'll uninstall and reinstall the game. I'll rage after this cast, and we'll see if that ends up fixing it. Apparently it doesn't happen too often, but I like my little pet icon. All right, no way. Okay, he does see it. I was about to say, did this Overlord really see nothing? That would have been, like, super disastrous, but he managed to get it in the end. Looks like both sides are independently of each other, trying to take down destructible debris. Dustin Browder is the common enemy of all StarCraft players, by the looks of things. But this mothership core... Yeah, come on. We have to go ahead and get that out, mate. Cool, cool. Lots of roaches being produced now for Trutacz. He's not on that high a drone supply, guys. It's 41 versus 43 in favor of Dead Pixels Fear. So this is a little bit suspect at this moment in time. We'll see what happens. We've got Warp Prism and Blink Tech coming on in. And now, of course, Trutacz has no way of knowing if this isn't Resonating Glaives. But he can potentially make the assumption. Here comes the first Adept attack, and he's moving them away from the Roaches while the rest of them go into the main base. What's here to defend in the main base? Iron Queen. Iron Queen is not a particularly strong defense right now, but these Lings actually manage to get back in time. Yes, they kill off a couple of workers, but all 4 of these Adepts are unquestionably going to go down. 5. Potentially 6 worker kills. We do get 6 worker kills, but 4 Adepts is quite expensive, I have to say. And I am reasonably pleased, actually, with the way that went for Trutacz. Trutacz is currently a high Masters player, and Fear is comfortably on the realms of the GM ladder, for anyone wondering what level these players are at. So Fear probably goes into this match as the favorite, but not necessarily the super heavy favorite, because it really depends on where they are on those ladders, and I haven't had time to check that out yet. These pylons going down, though, at the potential 3rd base is quite nice. I actually think these Roaches should turn around, pick off the pylon, force a cancel the Nexus, and go home, because the further he goes into the main base, the more likely there is more units can get warped in for Fear to actually deal with this. And yeah, look, picking up the Assimilator here and a couple extra Stalkers with Warp Prism Micro won't necessarily be as good as cancelling this Nexus. I mean, if he kills every single Stalker and he ends up walking to the main base, he's going to prove me wrong, but I really don't think so with Blink here. Oh, and there's the first Immortal, so that completely seals the fate of that. Number of workers killed here. Well, you know, 11 in total this game so far ain't bad, but again, he's lost all of those Roaches. I would have preferred to see it. Wow, okay. I guess that's what his plan was off the back of this. Trutacz sending in a troop with Link. I don't think this is going to be enough, though. Oh, great Micro with the Warp Prism to prevent the Immortal from going down. Hardened Shield's now being activated, but that's not going to last very long. He actually has to pick that up again. It's getting reasonably low here. There are more Links streaming in. Whoopsie daisy. There goes the Immortal. Not what Fear wanted at all. A second troop of Links going into the natural expansion now as well. And with Adept, well, only 2 Adepts actually defending it. That's going to be enough. We're going to have to pull some probes as well. Well, the probes are actually killing him off in a raid. Come on, probes, save the Adept. No. Oh dear. Okay, all of a sudden, this is looking significantly worse for Fear than I anticipated. 60 supply versus 66 right now. Only on 35 drones versus 37 workers, though, for the Protoss. But again, this could have been cancelled so much earlier if he had just used his initial Roaches. So this has become a little bit of a scrappy game. Maybe that was Trutacz, ambitions from the beginning here. I'm not sure. He's got an army of Overlords here, which isn't going to do very well against Blink Stalkers, but we'll find out when that happens. These Lings are still looking for a way in. They will remember, of course, that this is completely and utterly blocked off. Mothership Core just kind of chilling in the middle of the map. Super slick, super chill. No upgrades yet for either side, by the way, and here is the big attack. Right, we're actually looking to dismantle the wall now. +1 range is about to come in, which isn't going to help these Zerglings much at all, but a gateway is about to go down here. The second one potentially about to go down. No, he's actually doing a good job of picking that apart, scaring Fear at the wall. He's looking to see if he can pick off the second warp gate. He won't be able to at this time. There's another front opening up here, and Trutacz is actually doing a great job with his multitasking, but Fear at the same time has been holding. He has successfully held everything. The first push, little bit scrappy from both sides, but other than that, reasonably okay. Now, that's a lot of Links surrounding a lot of Stalkers, using Blink to good effect there to prevent them from being too effective and picking a couple of those off. The Mothership Core there as well, though, and a couple of Adepts means that Zerg does have to pull back. Now, where is the tech? We're going into Roach Ravager finally. This is the 9-minute mark of this game, guys. This has been a pretty big slugfest to start things off. Oh, please kill off the Mothership Core if it isn't moving. Okay, it is moving now. And here we go. Legendary Micro by the Stalkers gets a couple of Adepts killed from Fear there, but we will not worry too much about that right now, because overall he is definitely winning the engagement. Oh, and he's going for the commitment. Ooh, and a couple of those shots do hit the Mothership Core, but unfortunately it doesn't quite kill it off. More Roaches coming in to reinforce. There is only one Ravager, though, and that is going to be the only way he can kill off the Mothership Core. Does it hit it? No, it does not. It does hit a pylon. That's going to be that. Trutacz should not be able to win this fight, I think, especially if the Warp Prism has another Warp in. But we're actually not using the Warp-ins at the moment. Now, Fear does have 800 minerals in the bank. Don't forget, he can use the Warp Prism. He doesn't have to rely on this pylon, which is about to die. So he really should have done that, I think, because he has got money in the bank for these Warp-ins. And I wonder if he's falling apart just a little bit to Trutacz here. But Trutacz is taking... he's taking advantage. He's using the most of his situation right now. No additional... Look, they're being warped in inside the main base and walking over. It's really not ideal right now for Fear, and that might end up costing him this third base. If it costs him this third base at a sub-100 supply game, I think that just hands the advantage of potentially the game over to the Zerg player. So Trutacz at the moment is looking like he is in a good position. He hasn't won the game yet, but he could potentially be winning. Now, a couple links coming in to surround. I don't like this. This is basically a donation at this point. With the Immortal there as well, if he uses a Warp Prism Micro, and he does indeed, remember, there's no way for the Zerg player to actually attack this Warp Prism, so pushing in, I think, could end up being a bit of an overextension on Trutacz's part. There we go, using these for additional Warp ins. Here comes the Immortal. Here's a second Immortal as well. Great Micro with the Warp Prism, and everything gets absolutely shredded for Trutacz. So Fear keeps himself in this game. I would have liked to see him do this basically at the third base location, but he does do it in the end, and it is allowing him to completely and utterly demolish this Zerg army. Streaming units in is not going to help Trutacz at this point. He needs to sort out his rally points. This will not help. Not with this enlarged Protoss army. It's 36 probes versus 45 drones. Fear needs to remember to continue to produce probes and remake that third as soon as possible, but that actually, destruction of the army there, has allowed him to get a foothold back in this game. He needs the Warp Prism to move with the army. He needs everything to stay clumped up. He needs to protect the Immortals, but he can basically do that against his composition from Trutacz. But if Trutacz gets one more careless engagement out of Fear, he can just win the game outright. So this is, like, super tense, to be perfectly honest. This isn't like the tip top of the Grandmaster League, but who the heck cares? It can be two bronze players for all I care, as long as it's super close and super tense. And this is actually pretty good quality StarCraft here. It's a lot of mind games going on, trying to work out which player is going to be attacking where next. And here we go. He's going to try and pull his opponent into two different directions. Well, it's actually just two roaches, so two different directions is a bit of a stretch. But if he picks off the Cybernetics core, that's going to be a major problem for Fear. What Fear needs to do is grab this third base and push out to this location and force Trutacz to engage him out in the middle of the map. If Trutacz is able to get a counterattack off over here, for example, then I think Fear is going to be in a dire position. It's going to be very difficult for him to hold on to this game. There are 4 Immortals on the map, and they're all over here doing absolutely nothing while he's afraid to commit one side or the other because he doesn't really know where the army is. I think Fear needs to absolutely move out and YOLO it on this side and potentially keep the Mothership core here to go like 3 or 4 photon overcharges to delay and threaten the Zerg with extinction if he doesn't group up his army. I feel like that's the kind of thing that our Protoss player needs to start thinking about doing at this point. Now. Right, here we go. Everything is grouped up. The Immortals are here. Ooh, we don't quite dodge those Ravage shots, but we'll ignore that for now. Where's the Warp Prism? Where is the Warp Prism? The Warp Prism is with the army. It can actually get killed off by Ravagers, so it does need to be a little bit careful, but it can easily start warping your units from the back. And Fear at the moment isn't quite doing that. The Immortals are doing a fantastic job in the front line. They use the Warp Prism! Okay, he's using it to pick stuff up. That's great. But we need to see those warp... Well, I guess he's got the pylon there, so it's fine, but he needs to continuously warp stuff in. There we go. We have the Adeptia, and this is going to allow Fear actually to push it back. So I take back what I said about the Warp Prism. I forgot this pylon was no longer on about 20 hit points, and that's going to be fine. Fear now needs to move out across the map. He needs to take this location, or ideally this high ground here, and say, Zerg, you are not going to counterattack me, because the moment you counterattack me, I can absolutely wreck your face. He needs to not just stand by this third base, because as soon as he does, this opens the door for Trutacz, I think, to go ahead and plant a counterattack down here. And that's what really scares me right now. Warp Prism is going to scout out the 4th base, so at least that's a target now. And Trutacz will know, actually, now that this 4th base is scouted, he has to be a little bit more careful, a little bit more conservative with the way he's attacking in, because that could mean that Fear is able just to take out some bases for free. You don't really want that. This is such a low econ game. It's 39 probes versus 46 drones, and this 3rd base is crucial for Fear because so much is to be mined from the main and natural already. And here we go. The attack at the 4th base has started. There are 5 Immortals with this. We need to see some good force fields. We do. Where are the Ravager shots? There they are, clumped up in... Oh, God, in the middle of the army. Those Ravager shots were actually amazing. And I don't know if Fear has enough to push this through anymore. It's going to be very close because at least 2 of the Immortals are very low right now. It's not being picked up by a Warp Prism. 3 Immortals left to go. Good dodge by moving forward on the 3rd Ravager shot as well. And 4 out of 5 of the Immortals are now down. I think this is going to be a hold for Trutacz, and he successfully manages to push Fear back. That was a great idea, but unfortunately not quite enough units to follow through on the execution. That said, I'm not sure this is enough units to win Trutacz the game by coming here. If Trutacz kills off this 3rd base again, I honestly think it might be game. Look at that. Look at that. No 4th base being taken. Overlord here just double-checking that. So this base is absolutely pivotal for Fear. And look how many units there are defending it right now. Approximately nil. So that potentially is the biggest problem. Trutacz has got this base up and mining. He's got that one. I think he can now potentially take this one as well. And we have a little bit of a pause. So, breathe. A little anticlimactic there, but that's okay. I don't really know what the pause reason is, but I'm not sure it matters at this point. Thanks, Go. Probably something got unplugged. Everything is fine. and we're back into this game. Trutacz has the opportunity to potentially take this game. He's got 57 workers to 40 right now. He's holding on to the extra base. The War Prism has just gone down as well to those Hydralisks. That's big, 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 because that means you no longer have mobile Warpins with this army. If this army goes down and this base goes down, that's it for Fear. Whereas there are plenty, there are more things that the Protoss has to tick off for Trutacz to lose this game. And here we go, using the force fields in a completely open position means the Lynx can absolutely get on top of this. Using all of your force fields here, and there's no War Prism, there are no pickups. Oh, good golly gosh, this is disgusting. What is happening now is basically a federal offense in about 37 different states, and unfortunately, Fear right now is about to have his army completely and utterly picked apart. Yes, these Stalkers can go ahead and blink over there and blink into the cuddling embrace of a number of these Zerglings. That brings Fear down to 56 supply versus Trutacz 123. This is now definitely a game for Trutacz to lose. This has been scrappy, but also close and really tense. And now the Zerg player has an awful lot of momentum. He's on 122 supply versus 68. If he can break through this army, there is no question for me that he's going to be able to win this game. There's only a single Immortal here. The Stalkers are going down like flies, both sides with the high DPS army here. And Trutacz actually has his army very, very low hit points-wise, but it's going to be enough. Trutacz comfortably takes the victory. I say comfortably in the last 10 seconds. Takes the victory there over Fear and moves on in the bracket. Congratulations, he goes to the round of 32.